What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to show you everything you need to know about attaching a ledger board to a house for a deck, any structure like this. So follow these steps, you're going to be in good hands. It's super critical part of any deck structure, so make sure you follow these steps. Hit subscribe, let's go. All right, our first step here was cutting away our siding on the house. Here, we went a little bit above our door threshold just so we can get all of our flashing up and behind that. And this is eventually gonna come down on this project, but you wanna make sure if you have vinyl siding or wood siding, you take a little bit off so that you can extend your flashing up behind this when you're finished with your ledger board. So what we found here is some spots that we need to patch in some sheathing. So that's what we're gonna do first, just to prepare a nice flat surface for our ledger to attach to. When you go and cut away whatever was there, your siding, or if there was an existing deck there, this is what you're gonna see. You're gonna see the rim board of the house framing. This is a piece of dimensional 2x, and it's not pressure treated. We have a sill plate here on the house's foundation, which is pressure treated, but this is not. Every project's gonna be different. If you had an existing deck, a lot of times you're gonna find that this might be rotted out. So you might need to pull this out, replace some spots. We were pretty lucky here. We don't have any rot, so we're good to continue, but that's one of the most critical steps, is make sure that it's in good shape, because this is gonna bear all of the weight and transfer it to the sill plate, to the foundation. So if this is rotted, you're not gonna be in good shape, but we're pretty good here. Good to continue.
That tiny little corner's rotted.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad though. So here they did have a foam board insulation over top of this, behind this siding, so they didn't actually have sheathing on the house. So we are going to patch in sheathing, and I think this actually really helped to stop water from getting behind the existing ledger board, because I thought we were going to find some rot here, and we lucked out. We're good to go.
What you doing, Nick?
We got wires coming out, so I'm just marking out these notches so the plate can go nice and tight.
Nice.
Jose's already got the tool on the other side, so I'm going to go back and install the one that he's cutting over there.
So once we get our sheathing up there and we have a nice flat surface to attach our ledger to, we're gonna prep behind the ledger, and what we're gonna use for that to waterproof it is a self-adhered flashing. See here, self-adhered, so this is gonna stick right on there. We want this to extend a little bit down past our ledger and up above it. So this is roofing underlayment, readily accessible. You can get it at any big box store, lumberyard, roofing supplier. But this is perfect to use because it's going to seal around all of our penetrations for our structural screws, and super easy. This is a great extra layer of protection that just in case any water does get behind that ledger board and over our traditional flashing, this is going to be behind it, and it's going to make sure that we're all good and no rot.
Super sticky.
Super sticky. The other nice thing about this is it comes in a huge roll, a 3-foot roll, so you can cut it in half and you get plenty of use out of it. So it's maybe, I don't even know, $100 for about 200 square feet. So this will last you a couple jobs, and it's a really, really good, easy material to use, and like I said, seals around all of the screw penetrations. So we are going to be totally good, totally waterproof. Build like a pro and use what the pros use. Pro wood.
Never settle.
I know you were thinking about settling. I know it creeped into your mind, but don't. Never settle. It's ProWood. Here you go. That. So we've got a little bit of an overlap with each piece. We overlapped it about 4 inches, just so there's not a seam there with the previous piece. The one thing with this is you just want to make sure that you kind of have it lined up level before you start attaching it, because if you start like kind of going at an angle, you're gonna have it all wavy and it's gonna be all crumpled up. So just be careful with that. Take your time. And good to go. But see, this stuff, it's sticky. So Nick here is doing a fine job with it, and it's looking good. And let's see, check out how thick it is. Very, very close. So you can use a smaller, thinner flashing if you want. You can use a, this is like an asphalt based flashing here. It's, like I said, a roof underlayment. You can also use an acrylic flashing tape. You can use a butyl tape, but we like to use this because it's nice and thick and it's really gonna seal around the screws. So, the next one, huh? This step, a lot easier with 2 people.
You gotta make sure you touch it a bunch after you install it.
Absolutely. Make sure you got it fully adhered. Now, with this, you can get a couple different types. You can get like an ice and water shield. That's usually going to be smoother. It says a rough texture on it because, again, it's made for roofing underlayment. So, just non-slip. So, it's not really for anything, but you can see it kind of looks like roofing. But that's just so when you put it down before you put your shingles down, you don't slip on it. But
now, what do you do when it starts peeling off because it's so hot out?
When it starts peeling off because it's so hot out, you can pop a couple staples in it just to get it adhered. Like right here, where with the overlap. See, it doesn't want to stick as well to the other piece. And yes, it is very hot out. But as soon as we put our ledger on here and it has pressure against it, it's going to fully adhere and seal to itself, and we'll be good to go. If you're going underneath the door, you'll have some existing pan flashing underneath your door, and you want to just make sure that your flashing goes behind that. You overlap over top, and now we're just stapling it down just so it sits flat and we can get our ledger up against this. But if you encounter any other flashing along the way, make sure that you are shingling it, so the flashing or house wrap, whatever it is over top of the flashing that you put down below. So if water gets behind it, it's not going to sneak behind the material below it. Next thing that you're going to want to do before you attach your ledger is figure out your elevation. So we have 2 doors that we need to accommodate for. We've got one here, one over there. They're both going to lead out to the same height deck. So we need to check the elevations on that. We've checked that with a laser, and this door is 1 inch lower than that door over there. So what we're going to do is set our framing 1 inch below this door. Our decking should slide right underneath that threshold, and then over here we'll have 2 inches below our threshold, so there will be about a 1 inch step out of the house. We'll put some trim on it. You won't even notice it, but that's something you definitely want to check, because if you start over there and you just go level across, you're gonna be like, oh God, I don't have enough room. Now, if you're just doing it out of one door and it's a smaller deck, you can start by measuring off the door. You can start setting your ledger, and you can just use a 6 or an 8 foot level to level it across and you'll be good. But with an elevation like this, 2 doors, you're gonna wanna use a laser or something similar to make sure that you've got it all figured out before you get started. So we've got it figured out, we've got it marked here, and we are ready to go. Heard Ant say this side is up, so that's crowning it. So you take your lumber, you're going to sight it, look down it, and you'll notice a slight curve one way or the other. You always want that crown facing up on all of your lumber, your ledger, your joists, your beams, everything crown up always.
How many things can you cut out of a ledger board before it's not structurally sound anymore?
Anything that you have coming out of the house, you might have a vent, you might have some wires coming out. Notching around that's totally fine, because we still have full bearing all the way across this board. So really, you could have a board end here, start a new one right here, and leave a gap, and that's fine. You just don't want to have a joist attached there. So notching around this, totally fine. We'll just make sure that it doesn't interfere with any of our joists when we get to layout, which is gonna be next. I always like to double check with a level, just to make sure. Level's kind of foolproof. If you made any kind of error on your mark with the laser, you can pick it up here and know if you did something wrong. This thing is sitting dead level. So
how often do you calibrate your levels?
this is not helpful. Now that we've got this temporarily attached with our 3-inch screws, we do that because the next thing we want to do is mark out our joist layout. We're going to mark out where our joists are going across this entire thing. And we're going to do that for 2 reasons, really. If you have a big enough lag bolt going into the ledger board, that can interfere with actually securing your joist to it. We're going to use some more modern lag screws that are code approved for a ledger attachment that will go flush, but we want them to be visible for the inspector. So we want to mark out our joist layout, and then as we install our anchors, we want to make sure that those aren't being covered by our joists. So when we come to get our inspection, all of those are visible and we have no issues. So mark out your layout first, and then you can go ahead and secure that thing. Once we get it marked out, we'll secure it and we'll show you what we use. You'll see on a lot of older decks, people use a 1/2-inch lag screw, so really big hex head bolt on there. They're a lot harder to put in. You need to pre-drill them. Just takes a lot more time. There are other code approved options out there. You can get them at any lumber yard. You can get them at any big box store. Any lag screw like this, it'll say it's approved for deck ledger applications. Make sure they're exterior rated, all of that good stuff. And on the box or on your plans, it will tell you the correct spacing that you need to attach them. So anything that says 6 feet or less of a span, so that's roughly what we have here. We're at like 7 feet-ish. That would be 17 inches on center. We would need these lag screws. But I'm just gonna go by our biggest span, which over there is 12 feet, and we're just gonna install everything per that. So it's 8 inches on center, and you really can't go and install too many of these. So we'll go a little bit overkill to make sure that we avoid any of our joist layout here. What I'm gonna do is do a staggered pattern, top, bottom, and this way they'll all be about 6 inches apart. So we're gonna be well within our spacing, and if anything, it's just gonna have some extra screws, and it's gonna be locked in for justice. So after we got the ledger situated and we got everything marked out, we ran our joists, and now for the final part is our ledger flashing. So let me show you what we do and why we're doing it here after our joist installation. So number one, first thing that we want to do is we want to get some flashing tape over top of our ledger and over top of the front side of our joist here. And that's because the treatment for this wood is going to be corrosive to especially aluminum. This is steel flashing here, but if you're using white aluminum, like regular coil stock, you're absolutely going to want to put a barrier in between your flashing and your pressure treated lumber. And it's good practice, even with steel, galvanized, whatever you're using, just good practice to do that. So we've got that on here, and we leave this off because when we run our joists, we run these flush with the top of our ledger. We tack them in place with our framing nailer, and then we put our joist hangers on afterwards. And that's so everything lines up really nice and flat, and we can have it consistent with the top of our ledger. If we have this on first, it doesn't always sit down super tight until you get your decking down on here, so it can just make it a little bit more difficult to run all of your joists perfectly flat in line with our ledger. So we've got this on here, and then all we need to do, we have this little drip cap here on our Z flashing. We can just notch this out with a pair of snips and bang that flat, and now we have everything is flashed. We've got our self-adhered layer behind our ledger board, then we install the ledger, we've got a protective layer, and then we've got our Z flashing on top. So we secure this with some roofing nails, super easy, and now we've got a ledger board that is going to stand the test of time. So we're all set to go with our deck here. It's gonna last a really long time when you do it correctly like this, because we have our self-adhered layer behind our ledger, we have our ledger lagged in per manufacturer's requirements on there, and then we have our barrier layer of flashing tape and our Z flashing on top. So we've got a couple layers of protection, and once we run our deck boards here, this thing is going to be locked in for justice. It's not going to rot, and we'll be good to go. This right here, most common area of failures on your deck. It's supporting a lot of the load of this thing, so you don't want to play around with this. It's not just going to be an aesthetic failure, it's going to be a structural failure, and it's not going to be safe. So do it like this, you'll be good to go. And that's pretty much it for this video on ledger installation. Make sure you hit subscribe. We're doing some other videos on this project, more vlog style, where you can see this whole project come together, and it's going to be a really good one. So hit that subscribe button, leave us a comment if you got any questions, and stay tuned. Until next time, this has been Premier Outdoor Living. Yeah!